So if you're watching this video right now, you might be wondering, why does Jacob have penguins behind him? Where's the cool Vegeta statue and the picture of John Wayne and all the comic books? Well, here's what's going on today. Me and my all-star guest, Ezra Celeste, are going to do a little satirical skit just to show the ridiculousness of social justice warriors. We're going to be analyzing films like an SJW would. So sit back, relax, crank up your humor meter. We're going to have a good time. And I want to thank Ezra Celeste for participating in this video because, listen, when I first told her this idea, I thought I would have trouble finding someone. Ezra was the first person I asked, and she said yes right away. She's been a great sport. She has been developing a backdrop to make it look even more authentic. So just kick back, kick up your feet, and get ready for this very special presentation. Yo, what up, fellow resistors? My name's Jake Woke. I'm here with my sister in the resistance, Ezra Woke, and
Hi.
we're going to be talking about Disney movies. Now, besides from the blatant racism of only having half of their Disney princesses a minority character, we also noticed some not woke subliminal messages in the films. So, we're going to go through some that we've noticed right off the bat. So, we're going to bring in Zootopia. Now, what do you think about Zootopia, Ezra?
Well, first of all, I just I just really hate movies that are just about, I don't know. There's not enough wokeness in the movie. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
agree,
Disney
and
is just not woken up.
exactly. The main character is a police officer, a suppressor of society. And you know what? I don't like that they made the main character a rabbit. I mean, that's a clear 50s view of women, seen just as for bearing children. I mean, the only woke person in that whole movie is the celebrity Giselle. I mean, she knows what's up. I mean,
And
she's
who
like that movie's Beyonce.
she was? She really was. Tell me more about how she was the most woke one. I mean, what is it that she did?
Well, when they were having the conflict in the movie, they Giselle brought the community together and was saying like, we need to come together because this isn't Zootopia. It was just that moment like when Beyonce came out during the Super Bowl. And like that Pepsi commercial with Kendall Jenner, it was just that perfect step to that ultimate wokeness that every celebrity brings to us, except for James Wood.
I like that. I like that. And
And
of course, it was a woman, you know,
exactly.
obviously. So it's very powerful in that messaging that the feminist woman was the one that brought the community together and was fighting that patriarchy, which is something that we're always doing. So that part of the movie I actually did enjoy, like you. I think that part was really woke because they did finally accept the fact that it's women that are the ones that are going to have to fight the patriarchy, and it was pretty well represented in Zootopia, despite the fact that they went so poorly wrong, as you said, with um, the suppressor being a police officer. It's awful.
It's just terrible. And I noticed now, I know I'll probably get a lot of hate from the peeps on Reddit for this, but I also want to bring up Lion King because Lion King is a complete movie about male privilege. I mean, Simba, he's like this strong, aggressive male, And Scar, he's an oppressive male, but the lioness can't throw off the oppression of Scar by themselves. They have to call on Simba, and I'm like, what's up with that?
Well, it's because the females, they're not resisting. Okay,
Exactly.
Disney is not about the movement, and that movie should have been about the females rising up and resisting, and they're not. That's not what happened. They sat back. Disney made the lionesses into just women that are in the kitchen, pregnant, with barefoot, and probably like another 7 or 8 kids in that they have to take care of. So, oh, poor them. They couldn't save themselves, right? Everything went into disarray once the male left, and the male is the one that had to come back and save them. And that, it's not woke. Not woke, Jacob.
Not
Not.
woke. Hashtag woke. Now,
Let's be woke.
this
We have to resist.
resist. I and this next one, it's another one about cats. I mean, I don't know what it is with Disney and cats, but the Aristocats. I mean, it's about a bunch of wealthy cats who are obviously represent the white privilege as they're on
Yeah.
this role, and like they don't even help the poor cats that they meet rise up. I mean, that's why you should resist. I mean, if I was those street cats, I would have been like, sorry, you're privileged enough.
Yeah, and then that old white lady, she's the one with the white cat. Like, what's all this white oppression? Okay, all they're doing is they're just telling me once again that as a brown female, I can't do anything because there's always going to be some old white lady with a white cat telling me what to do. Like, I'm wearing my cat ears, because we got to fight the power. And we gotta resist, we gotta wear pink hats. I don't have my pink hat on me right now, but I got pink ears, so you can see, right? You see the pink?
I see
Okay.
that.
But that's what the aristocrats was missing out on. Is all they were doing was telling me about how, like I said, these white people can just tell us all what to do and not help the poor.
And I also thought it was weird that they tried to cloak it taking place in France. Like that was going to trick us. Because, France is woke. But
France is woke.
Disney is not woke.
I love Macron.
Oh, man. And he's got, I mean, he just defies, man. Him and Trudeau, they defy and
They're
resist.
amazing. There was an article written today about how they're now the hottest leaders. I mean, I want to move over to France or Canada because I want my leader to be hot. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I know. Everyone thinks Trump is so hot. All he does is oppress. That's why we got to resist.
We got to resist. We're always resisting. Stay woke.
Now, this next one, I don't even know how this one made it to theaters without an uprising. It's Tarzan. Now, this is clearly another case of straight cisgendered white male privilege. I mean, this guy, his family lands on a beach, and then they just move in. They don't ask the animals. Obviously, the animals can talk, right? They don't talk to the animals, and then he just kind of takes over the gorilla tribe. I mean, now they're talking about animals are equal to us, and on top of him exerting his white privilege on an African populace of gorillas, he's also trying to do his white cisgendered male superiority. What's up with that?
Exactly. It's also a play on just the fact that it's like America, whenever the pilgrims came from Europe and then just destroyed the Native American population. There was some relativity to that. I felt really connected in that way because that's what white people came and did to America, and that's what they did in that movie in Tarzan. And it's just, I was feeling a little triggered. I was feeling triggered,
Oh.
and so it just It just hurt me. It's a very hurtful movie, and I hope that people see that. I think
Yeah,
people need to see that.
and that's perfect because our next one takes place not in an African jungle, but in an Indian jungle. And here we
Oh,
have the Jungle Book. Now they just remade it, and I'm just so surprised by the cultural appropriation. I mean, this human boy Mowgli, he's appropriating the culture of the animals by trying to pretend to be a wolf. I mean, what's up with that? The animals, they're woke, but Mowgli, he's not woke. I mean, what do you think
well,
about that?
cultural appropriation is just, I mean, it makes me sick. We have to resist against cultural appropriation. So Jungle Book, that one, that's not on the list of movies that I really ever want to see again, but we do have to resist against Disney and continue talking our truth because cultural appropriation should not be allowed. It just should not be allowed. It should be outlawed. It's one of those things that causes hate speech. It causes all sorts of hatred and violence. There's a connection. There is. You got to stay woke about that.
1000%. Now, this next one is one that's particularly offensive to me. It's Sleeping Beauty. And
Oh,
I'm just so grossed out by it's not just male privilege, it's toxic masculinity. I mean, this guy not
and rape
he
culture.
not only slays the dragon. I mean, he kisses Sleeping Beauty. I think her name's Aurora or something, without her permission. He doesn't even ask her. He just kisses her on the lips.
Exactly. Exactly. All it does is promote rape culture, which we're obviously trying to resist. And it just, oh, it allows for the patriarchy yet again to just come down and say, oh, girls are sleeping, so we're just gonna force ourselves upon them, just like the patriarchy likes to do. And I just want to point out that my vagina has its own voice. You
That's
can't
right.
just go around kissing me while I'm asleep. That's rape. That's rape. And that's what Disney decided to do. Just promote rape culture with Sleeping Beauty.
And it's just so shocking to me. And I mean, why are they saying this white blonde girl is beauty? I mean, that's not beauty.
Hmm,
That's
that's
a false
very offensive.
stereotype.
Yeah. Why did it all have to be white and skinny? Like I wanted to see someone like, woke Amy Schumer take the role of Sleeping Beauty. Why couldn't she have been asleep, but not asleep? Because don't kiss me while I'm sleeping. Okay? Well, I'm just,
Exactly.
But even then, maybe not Amy Schumer. Maybe like Sarah Silverman, who is also woke.
She fights the power.
She does fight the power. And it just, I'm feeling a little triggered right now. And so I'm sorry. I'm sorry
Well,
to my fans.
if you've
We got
triggered
this.
if you're triggered now, wait till you hear this next one. Now, I used to believe the propaganda about Robin Hood. So Robin Hood used to be my favorite Disney movie because I always thought Robin Hood was woke. He was robbing from the rich to give to the poor. And then one day,
Bernie
I
Sanders.
exactly. But then one day I was watching the movie, and you know what I realized? He wasn't stealing from the rich. He was stealing from the government. Prince John is obviously the hero in this story. He's taking taxes to give money for health care and for food for the people, but Robin Hood is stealing that, and he justifies it by giving it back to the people. Prince John, the whole point is Prince John is taking those taxes so he can give free health care. What's up with that?
So you're saying that Robin Hood ends up being the villain in this.
Yes, he's a total Tea Party activist.
Jacob, you are so woke, my friend.
Oh,
My mind has been blown right now.
I just couldn't believe it. I read between the lines.
That's what we have to do. We have to continue to stay woke, to stick together, and acknowledge and tell people about these truths. That that is awesome. So he really is. Well, John is really our present day Bernie Sanders because
That's
he is
right.
just trying to give people the same amazing health care that Canada and Venezuela have. We
That's right.
need to get into these. We need to to be a socialist society. And the only way that women are going to continue resisting and are going to continue having access to abortion and to birth control is through things like Robin Hood, through
That's
people
right.
like John and Bernie Sanders. Oh, man, you just woke in my mind up, Jacob.
I
I
know.
love it. Hey,
Mind.
don't take away my birth control, all
That's
right?
right.
Don't do it.
Mind blown.
Don't do it.
Thank you so much, Ezra. Thank you for staying woke.
I every day, every day, every day is a challenge. But I wake up, I tweet Trump, and then I stay woke.
Right. All right, everyone. Welcome to Studio Jake. I hope you enjoyed me and Ezra's little skit we did there. It was strictly meant for satire, though most of it was true. A lot of the information that she and I said, it's real complaints about Disney movies, which is kind of funny. I always think it's hilarious that forever conservative criticize Disney movies, but then the left would always come back, always finds a way to complain about everything.
Oh, of
So
course.
we were what out of the movies, what is one that you were most like, oh, I can actually kind of see the complaint there a little bit, is or none, you were like, oh no, don't see it at all.
So I guess Lion King, honestly, because whenever I first saw it, I was a little upset that the lionesses were just kind of laying around and doing whatever Scar wanted. And I was like, why don't you guys beat up Scar? What is wrong with you? So, but it wasn't something that was highly offensive to me. I just kind of thought that that part was a little stupid. Come on, fight up and rise up or whatever. But other than that, it wasn't to the extent of people complaining about it, about how it resonates with us because that's how men think of us and all of that. It's just it's what it comes down to is just that's the way it goes in the wild.
Right. And you know what's
So
funny is I kind of flipped the Robin Hood there, because that one is so funny, because even when Bill O'Reilly was still on Fox, I know he should not be named. I remember when he was interviewing Barack Obama, then Senator Obama, he was saying, what you're trying to do is Robin Hood. And I remember I was watching that, and so this would have been 2008. I remember I was
yep,
watching that, I was going, I don't remember Robin Hood, because I would always repeat the chant, but then it was in that moment I realized, I don't think that's what Robin Hood is about, actually. So I actually went and found my old storybook. It's here I am, in my 20s, or I'm sorry, I just turned 19, and I pull out my old Robin Hood storybook that my parents gave me when I was in elementary school, and I reread the story, and I realized, oh my gosh, it's not rob the rich or steal from the rich to give to the poor. It's he's stealing from the government because the government is overtaxing the people.
yeah.
So I thought I would throw that in there because that is just such a misconception.
Which yeah, and that whenever you told me that before we started, that was kind of a revelation type of moment. I hadn't realized that because that's the narrative. It's always steal from the rich, give to the poor, which
Right.
is why they had, like I told you, I had read something about how Robin Hood was Bernie Sanders is the Robin Hood, of
Right.
our generation. He's trying to take from the rich and give to the poor, which is why he's on my wall of woke here.
That is an
Um,
impressive wall. I like your racist corner. So you've got
yeah,
the funny thing is you've got Milo and Ben together, and
yes,
we all know
because
how their relationship turned out.
I know. And that's the funniest thing to me is that they don't get along. They're nothing alike, yet people are always throwing them in together. Like
Right.
Nazi, fascist, racist is Ben Shapiro, Milo Yiannopoulos.
And you have another thing with Milo, don't you?
Oh yeah, Yeah,
So
that was one of my sons.
she didn't get to hold up the sign during the skit, but I wanted her give her an opportunity to show it off. There it is.
Fascist Nazi. Can I tell you, the going to develop all of these photos
Mhm.
together, when you're developing photos of Milo Yiannopoulos, Ben Shapiro, along with like patriarchy and feminism, the guy is going to look at you really strange. And he was like, I don't understand what's going on here. And I was like, yeah, you don't. I don't think you really
Yeah.
want to know.
Oh, that's great. I remember when it was so funny because when I first thought of this idea, I was going, and I say this in the intro. I was going, man, it's gonna be hard to find someone who wants to do this with me. And I thought, well, I'm gonna ask Ezra first because she's one of my all-star guests, and and you said yes right away. You were like on board.
I got really excited to
It,
do this.
it was, yeah, and you went like my backdrop was my wife has this penguin blanket, so I was trying to say penguins are woke, they're all in the
They are.
society, and so I was thinking, oh, that'll be perfect, and then I see you actually went above and beyond Studio Jake's host with your backdrop. That's awesome.
My wall of woke. What's funny is I went to well, I won't name the store, but I went to the store and there were these two guys like they were watching as I was putting random stuff in my cart, and one of them goes, "What is it that you're doing? Is this a party?" And I said, "No, it's for a YouTube skit. I'm kind of pretending that I'm like one of those over the top feminist SJWs." And like their eyes just lit up and they got really excited, and they started and they worked there at the store and they were like, "Oh, we have the perfect thing for you." And so like
Oh, that's
they
awesome.
yeah, they started helping me. They got me this like rainbow flag um, tablecloth. They said you could put that as your backdrop, and got me some lights. And then there's this shark, which see you can't see it. I didn't do it correctly, but it says "feed fascists to the sharks."
Oh, awesome. But
So
well, and that's
yeah,
just a testament to how the habitually um, offended the woke people, how they bother everyone because it's so funny is
yeah,
everyone knows I'm a comic book collector, and I went to the comic book store one day and I was buying the latest issues that I collect, and there was someone in there complaining about how the Marvel comic books, not the movies, but the comic books, they're inserting all these SJW messaging. And this what's funny was this girl was African American. I'm sorry, young woman. She was an African American complaining about it, uh, and she was like, oh, it's over the top and blah blah blah. And and the comic book store owner was there, and she was complaining and saying, yes, it's actually hurting my comic book store's sales because people aren't buying Marvel comics because they're tired of all these storylines that are so politically correct. And so I chimed in and I said, Marvel comic books needs to realize, and I've said this in several of my articles, SJWs do not buy comic books. So you're pleasing
nope.
them, and they're like, oh, look at you, you're so woke, but then they don't buy your stuff. It's that's what happened to Scott
No,
Pilgrim. Everyone wanted a Scott Pilgrim movie, and then no one showed up to support it.
that's the thing. The people with the money are the people that work hard and are actually going to contribute to the economy. And those people are going to be on the right side of things who
Right.
don't want to see everything that the woke people complain about in their comic books or in their shows or anything
And
like that.
and it's so crazy because I can't really fault Marvel too much because they have done conservative storylines like X Men
Yeah.
Schism, or not X Men Schism. It was now I feel bad, I can't remember, but there was a storyline where they made the nation of Iran was the villain. The nation of Iran stole the Sentinels, which are featured in X Men Days of Future Past, and were trying to use them to kill Jews and mutants. And it was very conservative storyline. And Fear itself, that was a company-wide series, very conservative values. It had Captain America freaking pick up Thor's hammer and lead the Avengers into a charge against the enemy. So I mean, I can't
See,
really
but
fault them too much, but it's just in these modern contexts, the movies are appealing to one audience, and then their comic books are trying to appeal another, and it's failing.
that's the thing is like you're saying that it's a conservative storyline, and sure, but on top of that is that it's creative, it's well written, and
Right.
it follows cohesive arguments and thoughts.
Right.
Whereas, and just as we were trying to have this skit and talk about ridiculousness, whenever you move over into trying to please SJWs and follow their type of thinking and trying to build upon that, there's like all the creativity ends up completely thrown out. You don't have any cohesive arguments. There's nothing of substance in there.
And
So
oh, go ahead.
it's just, oh, I was going to say, it's just, you lose so much of that originality and creativity whenever you try to completely fulfill their type of messaging because there is nothing of substance that they have.
Exactly, and that's also the difference between liberals and SJWs, because
Yes.
liberals like I've read Marvel storylines that have a more liberal bent, and they're good. I mean, Secret Invasion, that had, I won't say that one's not like staunchly liberal. I'm just saying it leans a little bit more to the liberal side of the spectrum, but
Right.
it's still a creative. It's an excellent storyline. But then when you throw in the SJW far left wokeness, it just destroys the creativity because you can't please them no matter what you do.
Exactly. And then you'll end up someone will have a complaint about how horrible it ended up being because it was a cultural appropriating or it
Right.
was something. Everything ends up a complaint, as we saw with the Pepsi commercial.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly. So, Ezra, where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitter at Ezra Celeste or on my new blog, thesleepyrebel.com.
And definitely, Ezra is one of my favorite. That's actually how we got connected. Is she's a social, she's a social media warrior, and her blog is really interesting. Be sure to check that out as well. And also, if you can find me on Twitter at real Instagram real.jacob.airy. My blog is jacobberry.blog, and of course, pick up your copy of my paranormal thriller, Cacophony. It is now available on Barnes and Noble, so you can download it for your ebook on Amazon.com, and the ebook is on sale, and you can also get a paperback on Amazon as well. Be sure to like and subscribe, and then go follow Ezra on Twitter. Ezra, thank you again so much. Thank you for being a good sport.
Thanks.